Hello and good morning. My name is Oliver Freer, and just to give you a bit of background to myself and where I'm at, what I entitled this podcast, "What the hell am I doing with my life?" And the reason I entitled it that is, I guess, probably attract a few people my age, north of 50, to click on and listen. However, I don't hold a huge amount of hope that a lot of people listen to this. This was really just a test podcast to get the process up and running, get it on iTunes, and start what I hope will be a long run of podcasts interviewing fantastic people over the course of the next few months, years, maybe even decades. So what the hell am I doing with my life? Where am I at? What am I doing? What's going on? Etc., etc. Well, just to give you a bit of background, my name is Oliver Freer. I am based in Sydney, Australia, and I guess after completing an honours degree in the UK, I decided to avoid the weather and come to Sydney, Australia. So I came in September 87, and I've now been living here for more than 30 years. Got 3 Australian kids, so I'm not leaving anytime soon. This podcast that I've decided to set up is around the 3 ideas of human psychology, human potential, and human outliers, people who are extraordinary in their field. So I'm calling it human potential, and it will go in a certain direction, and I'll get onto that. I guess to give you a little more background, when I first came to Australia, I worked for a company called SMI, which is Success Motivation Institute. It's a company based in the US, in Waco, Texas, set up by an incredible guy by the name of Paul J. Meyer, who was really a insurance salesman. He was an introverted character to start with, but he forced himself to become more extroverted to sell the insurance, and became very, very successful. And he moved from that into the whole world of personal development, sales training, leadership courses, and personal development courses. So back in the 80s, we were selling these courses. Back then, they were cassette tapes and books, a series of, I think it was maybe 10 cassette tapes, and books and workbooks. And they were fantastic programs. Goal setting, SMART goals, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, tangible goals. And then we set up mini seminars to help people through those programs. Really enjoyed that process. I guess then for the last 25 years, I've been in commercial real estate, hence the picture behind me. We'll get onto that later. But I've been in commercial real estate for the last 25 years, been working as an agent, a property agent, commercial property agent, a broker, and commercial tenant representative, acting on behalf of corporate tenants to acquire commercial office space for them, and also acting on behalf of federal government, state government, to acquire property. However, I really, really enjoyed my time at SM. I've enjoyed my time as a commercial real estate person, but my real passion is around psychology and people's potential and what makes humans tick and what makes one human extend their potential to be a complete outlier above all others. And I just find it fascinating. I find how the human brain works fascinating. I find the depth of human potential fascinating. And so, having been through a relatively tough time over the last 24 months or so, it's made me do a fair bit of soul searching. And as a result of that, I've had this hankering to set up a personal development business for some time. And so I joined a course. I've been listening to, just to wind back a little bit further, I've been listening to podcasts for some time. In fact, I've been instructed to have a look at Audible, and I've downloaded book after book after book on Audible. And then as a result of listening to Audible, online books, got into podcasts. And one of those podcasts that I come across was a gentleman by the name of Brian Rose, who's got a business. He's an American, ex-Wall Street trader, got a business based in London called London Real. And it's interesting how your vibration sort of resonates with different people. And I kind of resonated with this guy online, and he was interviewing some fantastic guests, and asking them about different areas of life, whether it was, Jordan B. Peterson, whether it was Frank Bruno, the boxer, whether it was, it's really from warrior to healer, from psychological experts to physical experts, just really interesting podcasts. Then as a result of listening to that, developed a trust for the Brian Rose machine, which is London Real, and listened to a few courses, free courses. And then there was a business course called the Business Accelerator, which is essentially helping you to develop an online business. So I decided earlier this year, at about October 2018, to press the button on that and I guess get started on a course. So that's now been about 8 weeks that I've been doing that course. That finished yesterday. And so there was a slight overlap between that course and another course set up by Brian Rose at London Real, a podcasting course. So I've just commenced that. Now, before we go on to that, I'll just explain how the Business Accelerator course went and what that included. And then I'll talk about the business that I'm setting up, or have partially set up and really launching early in 2019. So within the Business Accelerator course, we essentially did, we set up what we called a bulletproof plan. We worked out what our micro niche was, because they talk about having 1,000 true fans. There's no point trying to be all things to all people these days. You need to have a niche. So there's a whole process going through that where you look at your strengths, you look at your talents, you look at your passions, and then you overlap those, do some analysis on that and work out, well, what is the best business for you? What have you got that you can sell? And quite often, I've heard this a number of times, you can sell some of the pains that you've had in your life of real, you polish them up and they're the gems that you can sell. Sounds bizarre, but we get into that in more detail in some of the courses that I'm running. So we, as part of that course, developed a micro niche, and we went through the whole process of setting up a website, developing content for the website, content that we can then promote, social media, setting up the 5 main forms of social media: Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And for someone that's sort of north of 50, that really only tinkered around the edges of these, that was pretty challenging, but it's the Business Accelerator. It's called the Business Accelerator for a reason, because it really accelerates you forward through those things. Then we created a product, an actual product that we can sell. Again, taking ideas out of our head, putting them in a format that can be sold. Then we've sold product. Finally, through the whole process, we actually sold a product. And then we're now in the process, we're going to launch a business. So we've got a minimal viable product that we've sold. We know it works. We know there's a market for it. Now we can launch it. Now, in addition to that, I wanted to turbocharge my business. And I've always been interested in the idea of podcasts. So hence setting up the podcast. So I guess in simple terms, my business is in in two parts. The podcasting, which I'll be setting up over the next 8 weeks. And the podcasting will be called Human Potential. But it'll be Human Potential, and there'll be a series of podcasts under that. So because I've been in commercial property for the last 25 years, I'm going to, most of the people I know in Australia, on my LinkedIn profile account, there's sort of 1,000 or so people, which was not that many, but they're all people that I have actually met face to face. Well, 99% of them are people I've met or done business with face to face. So they know me as an entity. So what I'm going to do, my first podcast will be Human Potential. And then the first series of 10 podcasts will be the Commercial Real Estate series. So within that series, I've identified, the top 10 to 20 guys, girls in commercial real estate that are outstanding in an area of their business. So there might be an outstanding architect, there might be an outstanding property developer, there might be an outstanding agent, tenant rep, broker, but they're all outstanding. They're unusual characters. They achieve more than other people achieve for whatever reason, and they're interesting. And so they're the people that I'll be contacting and interviewing. Then once I've done the commercial real estate series and hopefully generated some interest from that, I'll move on to, I think the second one will be the advertising and marketing series. When I came to Australia 30 years ago, we set up a soccer team, the Dunbar Rovers, and that's now gone from a pub team of ex-rugby players playing soccer to, I don't know, they've got men's, women's teams, kids teams, but most of the guys that set that original Dunbar Rovers team up were in advertising and marketing. So I have a lot of contacts in the advertising and marketing area, and I think it's always been a fascinating business to me. They're interesting characters, and again, within that business, there's people I know that are great thought leaders in there. So that'll be the second series of 10. The third series might be Aussie startups, Australian startups, people that have set up extraordinary Australian companies, online, in the IT sector, in a number of different sectors. There are some world leaders here in Sydney. Then it might be the legal series, the banking series, the investment money series, the health series. And then that's getting the corporate side interested and where I've come from. But, I'd like to morph from those initial corporate series into a wider series, perhaps the travel series, people who do some extraordinary travel, the artistic series, people involved in the arts, the spiritual series, spiritual gurus, influencer series, online influencers, maybe comedians. I'd love to interview comedians, surfers, surfing, et cetera, et cetera. So it goes on. So it's all around human potential, but there's going to be different series to that. So that's that. Now, I don't anticipate making $1 out of podcasting. I want to do it because I'm interested in people. I'm interested in psychology. However, what I believe it'll do is create an audience, and that audience will drive business, I hope, to my other stream of business, which is what we set up on the Business Accelerator course, which is my website, which is www.crisistothrive.com, which is essentially a business around personal development courses. I've identified that it's really male mental health, it's male mental achievement, it's helping people, whatever end of the spectrum they're on, whether they're in crisis mode or they're doing pretty well and they want to get into thrive mode, or they're in crisis mode and they want to get into the thrive mode, or they're doing extraordinarily well and they just want to do even better. So wherever they are on that spectrum, there'll be courses, ideas that can help them. And those courses there'll be free material. I'm happy to give free material away because there's so many ideas out there that can just help people. I will have, a low-cost product just to get people started. There'll be my primary offering. There'll be a super prime offering, and I'm thinking what I really want to do is end up with 2 residential camps, maybe each twice a year, the winter camp and the summer camp, one in Tasmania, one of my favourite places in Australia. Maybe I'm thinking the winter series in Tasmania, and maybe a summer series in my other favourite place, which is Byron Bay. So then get some other experts in to help out with some personal development courses. So that's the ultimate goal, and then hopefully doing some back end dealings with other similar either competitors, people in the same sort of business but not quite the same, and do collaboration along those lines. So that's kind of the big picture. At the back end of that, on the crisis side, really helping out in three areas: the financial crisis, relationship crisis, and mental crisis. So that's the overall picture. So there's really two sides to my business. There's the podcasting, which is creating an audience, and there is the actual business selling, promoting, and delivering personal development courses. So that's where I'm going. That is what the hell I'm doing with my life going forward. I will be in commercial real estate for probably the next 2 years, because I don't believe doing this will make me a multi-millionaire overnight, and all these things take time. But frankly, I don't care. It's something I'm interested in, and I know it takes time. And because I'm passionate about it, because I want to do it, because I'm interested in people, I'm interested in helping people, it won't be a chore. It'll be good fun. So in future, you won't be listening to so much of my voice. I think I am an expert listener, so I will be interviewing people that have achieved a lot, that have got different views, that are fascinating people, and you'll be hearing a lot more from them. But I'll be just guiding them through some fascinating questions and hopefully drawing out whatever I can draw out to provide you, the listener, with as much quality content as you can handle. And hopefully we'll just introduce more people to listening to your mobile phone or to podcasts, to just get more and more positive information spread out there in the world. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to speaking again with you soon. The picture behind me. Yes, this was the most recent transaction we've done. I think that it'll be interesting because this hole behind me is at 21 Harris Street in Ultimo. We've just introduced a company to this site, and it's now under construction. So by the time this podcast is well on its way in, where are we now? We're December 18, and by March 2020, the company will be moving into this hole. So hopefully the picture behind me will be not a lot more like a big shiny building. So it'll be interesting. I'll do a follow-up in March 2020 with another a picture, and you can, any of you that remember this will be able to see the difference. So I look forward to speaking soon.